Right before I started this video, Teresa's video popped up and it said, their disrespect is your closure. I couldn't agree more. I couldn't agree more. Now, there's always room for true, honest conversations with accountability. Like, that's how people evolve and grow, right? There's been times in my life where I've been disrespectful to people that weren't deserving of it. And I've had to take ownership in that, right? Not only whether that be a conversation to their face, but within myself, of recognizing that within myself through the karma that I've walked through, right? And that's why you should always treat people respectfully, particularly if they're being respectful to you. But don't meet disrespect with respect all the time, right? Like, if people are being disrespectful to you, rise above it and respect them, and then cut that boundary, put that boundary up, put that wall up, cut the string, be on your way, right? That's the way that I move forward now. I wasn't always that way. You see, this is how I've grown, I've evolved. And that's just me personally, to each to their own. But it helps me. It helps me feel proud of the person that I am. When I'm met with disrespect, I choose to meet them with respect and be on my way, because it makes me feel like a better person. And so I move and operate in things and natures and intentions that make me feel like a better person. That said, I just had this thought pop into my head, and it came out of nowhere, and I was like, oh, that is something, Amanda. So I've been seeing a lot of DeSantis on my algorithm, and he's been doing all these things in reference to the taxes and the property taxes and for the middle class. Like, something popped up earlier in reference to all the millionaires and billionaires down in Miami paying all this, and we should give it back to the middle class and And I know he's on that train. He's doing cleanup. He's in the cleanup service right now, right? And hey, I'm here for it. Do what you got to do, bro. Whatever people have to do to clear their conscience in the way that they can. I mean, at this point, you have to give politicians space at this point. You can read between the lines of what it is they're trying to do. You just can, particularly in the moments of speaking when they have zero accountability. When Alcatraz came up in the alligator thing, and it was just like, shoot, mute. But let me just tell you, in reference to the company that I work for and my boss, the Ben, I swear, Ben's. Why is Ben's such a... Anyways, there was a connection between DeSantis and them. That I do know. And that's how much up the ladder it is. And that's why I'm well aware that it's big. There's a governmental presence in there. In this. I mean, it's pretty evident. At this point, it's very evident, you know. At first, when I started picking up on things a few years ago, even when I worked at that company, I was like, there's no way. There's no way, you know, because I always want to give people the benefit of the doubt. There was just no way. I always want to see the best in people, no matter what the circumstances are. And again, I'm not a saint. But I did not want to wake up to the reality that I was surrounded by people that were moving and operating in disingenuousness to be at the detriment of me. Like, who wants to wake up to that? Right? And so it took me a while to get to that place of understanding the severity and how big and how far up it all goes. And I still have a hard time believing it, truth be told. Because I'm like, little old me. I'm drawing blanks as to why we landed here, this mere moment, and it be so big in the chains, in the stronghold of the agencies and the government and politicians and all the, the 3-letter digits, police badges, military presence. Like, it's just crazy to me to think of it in the nature of the beast. And so it's one of those things. But this is where I tell you, like, you just don't recognize the true reality of who people are, because who they tell they are and what they provide to you as authentic true beings of them, playing their part and being bad actors in different ways, you don't recognize what the back end story is and what their entanglement is, whether that be with politics, what they're embedded in with their business deals, what kind of bloodline there is. You just don't know. And that's where you have all these Freemasoneries, all these cults, all these different things. I mean, it's so deep, and it goes back so many years, hundreds of years, right? And that's when their children and their children, and so it's one of those things. And it's been a very difficult road for me, just trying to piece things together and listen to my discernment and my intuition, because I carry a heart of just not understanding how people can be pouring that type of intention out into the world and like on purpose, right? There's a difference between doing it purposefully and being coerced and blackmailed and walking in fear and doing it, right? There's a huge difference in the two, in doing it intentionally and purposefully. And so it's finding that ground between the two of seeing that, where there's people that are being coerced and blackmailed and having things dangled in front of their face, or having their livelihood dangled in front of their face, and like, you have to do this or we're going to take this away. You have to do this or we're going to tell this, right? But then there's those people that are like, hey, we're going to do it, and we're going to do it purposefully. Because why? They are insecure and they want to climb said ladder. They want to climb said fame. They want to sign the dotted line. They want the money. They want the ability to control the masses and live a false facade or pour out a fake story, right? The way that Jelly Roll climbed, the way that we see so many different artists that go from here to here, or they're plastered in front of your face, or even in the spiritual community, even in the tarot community. Like, I'm very, very mindful when it comes to people that I watch or I even follow in reference to tarot and spiritualists in the tarot community that, dabble with channeling and things of that nature. I did get a set of cards, but I threw them away. Over a month ago, I believe. Just something came over me one day, and I just didn't want it in my room anymore. And then when I opened the deck and shuffled it, it opened up to the Devil card. I was like, yeah, we're done here. We're done here. To each to their own. And I'm not passing judgment on anybody that partakes in that. All right. But do I see between the lines of the genuineness and the intentions of the readers and how they're trying to placate on keeping people in a negative mindset, dwelling in the past, not helping people evolve, as well as when they're reading, they're not sharing both sides of the fence and giving people things that they need to look at within themselves. Because in every situation, every circumstance, every difficult conversation, every breakup, every divorce, every single thing negative in your life, you played a part in it. And you have to have the ability to look into the mirror and see that part that you played. Otherwise, you're not going to evolve. And see, when you find where you see all these people and all these algorithms and they're not talking about that, you have to be mindful of what it is you're receiving, because the only way that you're going to evolve is if you recognize the part you played and understand that you are not perfect, that there is a hand that you played, as well as you can't overgeneralize people's emotions and things that they're going through, because you go through yours, I go through mine, we both do, because we're both who we are. You are you and I am me. And it's very different based off the way that we were brought up, based off our childhood wounds, based off the genealogy, based off all kinds of different things, based off the religion that's been indoctrinated to us. I mean, there's just so many different avenues to that. And so, golly, I just went on and on that one. But I love you guys. I hope you have a wonderful evening. But yeah, I see you, DeSantis, All good, bro. All good.